Hello everyone and welcome. Today on Talking Television, we are talking about a new TV show called Warrior. I'm one of your hosts, Chris.
I'm Jay.
And we're having our first podcast episode. This is exciting.
Let's see how it goes.
All right, so first off, cheers.
Yep, cheers.
What are we drinking?
A little bit of Johnny Walker Black Label and some Pepsi.
Ah, excellent.
Goes down smooth.
Johnny, if you want to sponsor us, we're more than happy to
that'd be great.
Take care of that.
So, Warrior.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
Yeah, what were your first impressions?
I like the tone of it. It looked cool. Definitely set back in the late 1800s, but it's got a modern feel, which I like.
Yeah, we both commented on that when we were watching it, that it kind of had the Deadwood or Nick feel where they speak modern cuss words.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Had some funk music.
The funk music was great. We're going to talk about that later, guys.
But yeah, first episode was great.
Yeah, for a pilot, I
watched
think.
it a couple times,
Yeah.
Definitely caught some stuff the second time through.
Yes, especially the words we thought we were hearing, and we were totally wrong, so we turned the closed captions on.
We'll touch base on that, too.
All right, so, let's talk about some background on this TV show.
Yeah.
This was an idea written by Bruce Lee.
Yep.
Presented to TV studios back in the 70s, I think. Mm-hmm. They turned him down. There wasn't a lot of support for an Asian male lead.
Yep.
And then a year later, the TV show Kung Fu comes out with a white lead, but very similar premise. So that's kind of the background on that. Mm-hmm. But his daughter, Shannon Lee, kept all the paperwork, the scripts, and everything. And eventually her, Justin Lin, director of some of the Fast and Furious movies, and Jonathan Tropper, who many of you may know from Banshee.
Very good show. Check it out if you haven't watched it.
The three of them presented this idea and got the show rolling. They said they had to update it a little bit because from the 70s till now, there's a lot of cultural differences. But
they did a good job.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what the rest of the season holds.
Yep. Well, let's start off with the title of this. This is
The Itchy Onion.
The Itchy Onion.
Yeah.
So they say the onion a lot in this episode.
Yeah. We're thinking it has to be immigrant with a little bit of indenturedness tied in there. Really couldn't find anything of where that originated or if it's to the show. But,
we're not the only ones that were curious about the name. I saw some other comments online. People were wondering that too. So. If you guys know, shoot us a message. We're at Southport Media on all the locations: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. Mm-hmm. So first thing we see, we're looking at a picture. Right, he's coming off the boat and he's looking at a picture of a girl. So we know he's already on some sort of a mission.
Yep.
But we don't know anything about her. There's no dates or names or anything.
Yep.
So our main character there, Assam, who's played by Andrew Koji, who does an awesome job.
He does.
And another thing we noticed watching this was his haircut was so much more modern.
It was definitely modern. He stood out.
Yeah.
Him and his crewmates. That come about.
They had some dope suits on, man. They were really looking GQ.
They were strolling through town.
Yep. So they are. He's looking at this picture. Then they start walking off the boat. Immediately, there's people yelling out, go back to China. We don't want you here. This is only, a few years after the Civil War, so people are trying to get back into jobs. And at least that's how it's shown to us in the show.
Yeah, very segregated.
Yep. And, first thing he does is he gets to kick some ass. We get the first fight scene.
That's right.
What'd you think about that?
I thought it was great. That was a good way to start it off.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping, having the cops questioning everybody, giving them all a hard time, showing their dominance, and then he shows up and just totally whoops them.
Yep. So the cool thing about that first fight is he's using some Wang Chun style punches, which is a type of kung fu, which also Bruce Lee trained in. So I think that was kind of a nice nod to him.
Yeah, his fighting style, you can definitely tell, was after Bruce Lee.
Yes, definitely. So then next thing, we see, our old buddy from Banshee walk out, Henley Lee.
Oh, yeah.
And Henley Lee is just awesome in this.
Yeah, once again, check out Banshee if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
his
such
character
a great show.
is great.
Yep. So I don't know if Wang Chao, which is his character, is their employer or if he works for their employer and he's just in charge of the new immigrants coming off the boat.
Yeah, I don't think he's the direct employer. He's kind of the representative, the man on the ground.
Yep.
He's got his hands in everything, it seems like, selling some black market goods to everybody that's got some cash.
Yep. So, well, actually, first thing is Hoon Lee is speaking in Chinese.
Yes.
Right. We're getting subtitle, which is we'll talk about later, but that's such a great moment later in the show. Mm-hmm. And what Hoon Lee is telling them is, hey, you just got off this boat. Our employer paid for you to get here. Basically, you're an indentured servant, and you're going to have to work for 4 months to pay us back. Yep. But after that, you're going to make your riches, and then you're going to go home rich. So I think the fact that he said that, maybe everybody was expecting to come over, make money, and go back home. But
yeah. Well, it's America, Everybody's trying to get rich.
Sure.
So promise them the moon and just never give it to them.
Yeah, but I'm assuming a lot of them don't go back home, right? I mean, if they came here for opportunity, if they're going to keep working, making money.
There's a reason they came to the land of new, so.
So the next thing we see is Assam starts speaking English when the other immigrant gets his food knocked over and stuff. And he spoke really well, no accent at all, which I don't know if they're going to tie that into. He said he had an English grandfather.
Yep.
But, I mean, he spoke it really, really well. So maybe we'll get some more backstory on that.
Yep.
So the fight music in the first fight with the immigrant officer.
The funk music.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
Caption title
weren't expecting that at all.
Yeah.
I was happy.
Yeah, we actually, stopped and were like, is this, upbeat music? This is kind of cool. It kind of threw us out of our element, but I think it was a really memorable moment that they did that.
Another show where they had some music was The Nick. That didn't really fit the tone, but it was pretty cool.
So somebody online said they thought this was a mix between Banshee and The Nick.
Yep.
So me and you were already saying the same thing, so that's awesome.
Both good shows.
And so after this fight, Assam gets taken by Hoon Lee, or what's his name?
Wang Chao.
Wang Chao, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. So Wang Chao takes him in a little buggy and is like, all right, well, we got to get you out of here, but, I got somewhere for you to go.
This guy speaks English. He can kick some ass.
Yep.
Definitely got to take him out of the masses, He's special.
Yep. So they're in this little buggy. They're riding along, and they're speaking in Cantonese or Chinese. And it seemed like Hoon Lee was really struggling, like he had to study. So I don't know if he naturally speaks Chinese.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how much he actually can speak.
Yeah. I heard some rumors online that people were saying that their accents weren't very good. But
yeah. But luckily, they didn't have to speak in Chinese for too much.
Yeah, so do we want to talk about that now? I think we actually have it saved to talk about later.
Okay.
So yeah, we can hold off on that. So the next thing we cut over, there's so many characters in this episode, and it jumps around a lot, but I think they did a really good job of tying it all together. The next part we come across, it's a police officer. His name's Richard Henley Lee, which is so many white names added together. And he's from Savannah, Georgia, which was Confederacy, so we hear about that later on. But he comes across two white people beating a couple Chinese guys with hammers. And, I mean, they're literally just beating their skulls in.
Yeah.
And he's able to stop them, kick a little bit of butt, and arrest them.
Yep.
Seems like a minor thing, but I think that is actually going to escalate a lot of stuff coming up in this season.
Definitely, he's a fresh cop, so he's trying to prove himself.
He said 6 weeks.
Yeah. A lot of the other, cops, they really don't care. They're just in it to get their kickbacks. They really don't want to be in Chinatown. They just want easy street.
Yep.
But he seems like he's trying to prove himself.
Yep, so word of this eventually gets back to the mayor, which the mayor seems like he's going to have a lot of skeletons in his closet.
Oh, for sure.
But, the mayor says, well, what do you want me to do? There's 250,000 people in San Francisco, and I only have 75 cops, which is a crazy number if you think about it.
Yep.
But the next thing he says is, all right, so the guy that lost his workers was named Merriweather, and he said he lost two, skilled worksmen, and he needs to compensate them. So that really reminded me of Deadwood, which takes place, very similar timeline, where Mr. Wu had lost a couple of Chinese workers, and they had to compensate him for that as well.
Got to grease the palms.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody wanted their cut. And
that's right.
Got to keep things moving.
Then we go to the brothel.
Yeah, the brothel's awesome.
Yeah. We had our, suspicions that there'd be our fair share of, brothel scenes, and
sure,
got to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's on a premium network, so you're going to see a lot of adult action going on.
Yeah.
It's nothing new for Cinemax
My favorite
and HBO.
fight, though, happened in the brothel.
Yeah, mine too, actually.
That was the best scene, I think. But, so he reveals who he's looking for.
Yeah.
Saw the picture of the girl on the boat. It's Zhao Jing.
Yep. But we don't know who she is yet.
We don't know who just yet.
Yeah.
If is it a girlfriend, a wife, sister, mother. We just don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
But he's looking for her.
He said she came across the boat 2 years before.
Yep. And that was a mistake.
Yeah.
You don't want to just go talking in front of a bunch of brothel employees.
Yeah, they ratted him out.
Yep.
So after he gets ratted out, we get some other people from another gang or tong that come looking for him.
Yep. Some hot boys.
Yeah. They come in and do a little bit of fighting and get their ass kicked.
Yep.
And once again, we get some awesome upbeat music.
We do. And another thing I want to point out, Wang Chun is his laugh is great.
Oh yeah. He's awesome.
Can't wait to see what his character holds, but I like him.
Yeah, and while he's watching this fight, because he got pulled out of one of the brothel rooms.
Yeah.
And he's just got this shit-eating grin on his face.
Yeah. the worst possible time to get interrupted, let's say.
Yep.
Yeah. He was pretty chill, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
Having a knife put up to his throat,
Yeah, it seemed like it might have happened before.
He wasn't scared.
No.
So.
Yeah, but they it was a pretty long fight scene. My only thing that I really didn't like about it was there's a lot of cuts. The editing was really jumping around, but maybe as they get more comfortable, in upcoming episodes or next season.
Would love to see a long shot.
Yeah.
Long shot fight scene.
We just saw one in another Cinemax show, Strike Back.
Yep.
And that was full of explosions and gunshots and all sorts of stuff. So
yeah, those are great.
They said the hardest thing was just getting the practice in. So, yeah, maybe we'll see one this season.
Yep, that'd be really cool. Yep, he once again proves himself as an awesome fighter. Totally whoops everybody. And at that point, he's kind of proven himself. Then he gets branded, which he doesn't seem to be thrilled about, but what are you going to do? You don't want to say no.
Yeah, absolutely. And he actually, later on, says that he's not loyal to the brand and the tong that he's with. So is that going to cause future issues?
Of course.
Of course it will.
It's got to.
And, yeah, I think it's going to probably very soon.
Yeah. Definitely got to add in any sort of drama possible.
Yep. So we cut back out of there, and we go back to this new squad of police officers. We got one cop who gets bumped up to sergeant.
Yep.
And he gets assigned 4 other officers, one of which was a opium addict, so they cut him. And our boy Lee, again earlier, decides he wants to volunteer.
Of course.
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, other than Lee, nobody wants to be in Chinatown.
No.
Everybody totally, why are we doing this? We don't want to be there. Yeah, that's definitely going to add some spice, though. Lee, he's the good boy, the good old boy. He wants to prove himself, and I think the other officers don't like that.
Yeah, and in fact, the police, the head of police said, "Hey, look, it was just a politician. We were telling, that you guys are all going to go in here.
Yeah, just be there. You don't have to do anything."
But yeah, he says, "Look, just you don't have to police it. Just go be there or whatever."
Right.
But I think Lee's going to throw a wrench in that.
Yeah. Well, when they do start walking the Chinatown, we see Hoon Lee again.
Yep.
Selling some wares.
Yeah, he's selling some weapons to the police.
Cops. Yeah, little black market action, which you'd expect.
Sure, but our buddy Lee wasn't expecting that. He was ready to arrest him.
he wasn't a fan of that.
No.
But
one thing I noticed, Hoon Lee walking through the alleyway, he's got this awesome looking top hat. It's just absolutely brilliant. And whoever did the costumes for this first episode, they really hit the nail on the head. Like,
yep.
It was awesome. So kind of wanted to point that out too, is I noticed in a lot of the situations where it's just, some of the white people walking through the alley or the road or whatever, a lot of them had very bland colored shirts or jackets or whatever. But when you got into some of the more like Chinese shops, a lot of things were more vibrant. I don't know if they're doing that on purpose, just to kind of highlight the Chinatown portion.
Yeah.
Or if maybe that was the style back then.
Well, even in Chinatown, the workers, the common people, they all had just gray, clothes on, same type of hat, hairstyle. But the Hop Way, they stood out.
Yeah, they had little
the suits,
like red.
They had the updated haircuts.
Yeah, the red handkerchiefs in their suits.
So you can tell they have some money. They're different. They're definitely showing the different classes and whatnot.
Yep. So after the police get their new weapons, we get a new guy named Dylan Leary, and he bails out our murderers from earlier in this episode.
Yeah, he's representing the labor force.
Yep. I think Irish?
Fighting the Chinese immigration, taking their jobs, obviously.
Yep.
Sticking up for the Irish folk.
Yeah, and I don't know if they actually have a union, but he did say the guys pulled their money together to bail you out.
I think it's the starting of a labor union.
Yeah.
I think we can see stages.
That.
He's a badass.
Yeah.
He's got his own fight scene.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Definitely reminded me of a little Fight Club action,
Mm-hmm.
Standing at the bar, guy comes up, says, "Hey, this guy, he wants to go." Turns around, sizes him up. He's like,
the other guy's bigger.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big dude.
He didn't care. He's like, let's go. Let's take this outside. So, yeah, Fight Club, that was a nice little Tyler Durden-esque, just going at it.
And
of course he wins.
Yeah, our boy Leary wins.
Yep.
He gets beat up a little bit, but then he really turns it on and just takes the other guy out.
Yep.
And he, before he walks out of the bar, he actually is talking to one of the other police officers and says, "Hey, we want Lee. We want that cop. I don't care, who he is.
Mm-hmm.
He can't go and testify because our guys can't get in trouble."
Yep.
So I don't think that's going to work out.
No. I don't think Lee's going to roll over that easy.
No.
Doesn't strike me like that type of guy.
So I wonder if we're going to get more background on Lee. Is he just a goody two-shoes, or
is there a reason he's that way?
Yeah. I don't know. They didn't really reveal much about him at all, other than he's from Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they'll dig into his backstory a little bit more. So another character, the mayor. What'd you think of him?
I think there's going to be a lot of backstory with him and his wife too.
Yeah.
We got barely anything about him in this episode. He's got a sweet mustache.
He does.
It's not a porn stash. I don't really know what to call it.
No.
It's not.
I think it fits the time period.
Yeah.
He's got some, chops starting out there.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it. He's white guy. He's probably 50s, overweight. I mean, kind of somebody you would think about being a
rich politician.
Yep. But his wife, she
doesn't seem to be interested in being his wife.
No. Let me pull up her name here. She was also in there.
She seemed like she's going to be a pretty strong female lead, though.
Definitely.
Talking business at breakfast with his right-hand man, who's got a featured nubbin in the show.
So her name is Penelope Blake.
Penelope Blake.
So
I think she's going to be a pretty strong adversary, kind of like sitting on his shoulder, like strong voice that is not in agreement with him at all.
Well, we kind of see it's not a happy marriage.
No.
We see, he's getting ready for bed. She strips down in the other room and shuts the door on him.
Yep.
So I don't know if they're sleeping in separate rooms.
I think definitely. Well, then that leads us to he's not happy at home, so he
goes elsewhere.
Yeah, he goes elsewhere. Yeah, he visits the brothel, has a little boy-girl action.
Yeah, so he...
sets a little different character backstory, you know.
So not only did he go there, but when he showed up, Atoy, the lady that runs the brothel, said, the room is as you expected, or something along those lines. So he has been there before. He's got expectations.
He's got a sweet mask he's wearing, too.
Yeah, so to kind of hide him from everyone else. He's got a big, like a black cape and a red mask walking through the hallway. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool. So he gets a private room. He walks in, a young girl. It's kind of what you expect. He takes the mask off. We see it's the mayor. And then out of frame steps a young gentleman, too.
Yep.
So definitely bisexual. They're both pretty young, but so is his wife. So, I mean, I guess if you're a rich politician at that time, you get younger people. That's fine.
I have a feeling that he's going to get what's coming to him in this show. He's going to piss off the wrong people.
This season? You think this season?
I think this season.
Okay. Well, we know Jonathan Tropper, his writing, and Banshee. Some spoilers here if you haven't seen it yet. But there's a young mayor in there, and he died. A lot of people died on that show, actually.
A lot of people died.
And pretty much all the Cinemax shows, there's a lot of deaths. Long before the Game of Thrones time, that's just something they've always done. So, yeah, I could see him getting taken out.
Some point.
Yeah, not right away, obviously.
Not right away. But yeah, I think it's coming.
Yep. So then after that, we're back to our boy Assam. He strolls over to this other Tong, the people that had come looking for him earlier in the brothel. And he goes in. You see all the guys are, all bandaged up from fighting him earlier, which was just kind of hilarious. But there's a boss man in there. And guess what? We get another fight.
We get a boss fight this time.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And kind of surprisingly, and I don't know if I was expecting it, I liked it, but we meet Zhao Jing.
Yeah.
She shows up.
She does.
I was kind of hoping for a little bit more suspense on who she is, a little bit more of a chase maybe, but she just, mid-fight, shows up and says, stop, hey.
Yeah, so they're fighting, they're kicking each other's ass. They're pretty evenly matched. And during this fight, they changed kung fu styles. So he's no longer using Wang Chun. He's using some other more, flamboyant styles with his arms going all over the place. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I'm actually kind of hoping we get some details on his fighting history.
Yeah.
Where he trained and everything. But yeah, they're fighting, and in comes this woman walking down top of the steps in this bright red dress. So,
totally stood out from everybody else.
Yeah. So, that was, kind of a cool entrance. And, she tells him to stop, and she happens to be his sister. So, at the beginning, we see him looking at this picture, walking off the boat, and kind of figured, all right, well, that's going to be his direction for the whole season.
Right.
He's going to be hunting her down, and no,
she's here.
3/4 of the way through the episode, he found her. It's crazy.
But obviously, it's not that simple. There's more to the story.
Yeah.
She's not really interested in talking to him a whole lot, so she's... she's just kind of a rival gang now,
Yeah, so she said she fled from China, from Sun Yang, who she said used to beat on her and rape her and all this stuff, and she left. She said, her old personality died there, and now she goes by Mai Ling.
Yep.
And yeah, she pretty much tells him to get the hell out. He came all this way for her, and so something must have went down between the two of them.
I'm not interested. Go away.
Yeah. So that was an interesting turn, and I wasn't expecting that at all. Yeah, and then...
of course, he goes back to the brothel, where he feels at home now, and talks to Atoy. And
gets a little action?
Gets a little action, of course, from the Mistress.
Yep.
And a little surprise at the end from her, she sneaks out in the middle of the night, puts on a nice little green hooded robe, and goes to town on a couple dudes.
Yeah, so she almost dressed up like a superhero. Mm-hmm. Went out sneaking out through the alleys, and she just straight up murdered a couple dudes with a sword. It was brutal. It was definitely the goriest part of this episode. Yeah,
kind of an eye for an eye. It seemed like. A couple Chinese workers taken out earlier in this episode. She comes and takes out a couple of the white workers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was, I'd say, totally unexpected. I didn't see that coming. So maybe she's going to have some sort of a, crazy background, too.
Yeah, she's another one of the strong female leads. I think she's going to be prominent throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, I guess that ends the episode, right? So
yeah, that was the end. Fade to black. After he's doing a little practicing while she's out killing people.
Yeah, he wakes up, she's not there, so he does, some meditation and some, different fighting styles, just kind of doing some practice.
So what was your take overall?
I thought it was great for a pilot. Pilots can go way off the rails sometimes. Yeah. You never know what you're going to get. But this one threw us right in the mix. Got to meet a lot of people. Got a little bit of history and stuff fleshed out. But we don't really know where the rest of the season's going to go. He's already found his sister. He's in America. What's next? So, something's got to happen, I think, with the next episode.
Oh, I'm sure something will happen.
So,
big time.
Maybe from... it's obviously going to be white versus Chinese tension for the rest of the season, I think. Mm-hmm. They're building up to that with all these murders going on and, the labor riots and stuff that I'm guessing are coming.
Yeah. Well, I think my favorite part of the show is, obviously, these are Chinese immigrants. Like, we kind of touched on it earlier.
Oh, we totally missed this part.
We skipped over it, so I want to make sure we get it in here.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Talking in Chinese, English subtitles on the screen.
Yeah, which is very respectful of the time.
Yeah, it's great.
A lot of other shows would totally skip over that.
You expect, they only speak Chinese, so showing that on the episode, on the show is great. But not having to... So they zoom in on Henley Lee, they do a 360 shot, and as they pan around him, he's going from Chinese to English, and then all of a sudden the subtitles are gone.
Yeah.
So you get the feeling that, okay, he's still speaking Chinese, but we can understand him in English now.
So we don't have to read for the entire episode.
I thought that was my favorite, shot / episode thing that they did. That was really cool.
Yeah, not only the fact that they did that, but they did it brilliantly. That was totally... you could have done it 100 different ways, but...
Yeah, I was expecting to just... have subtitles most of the show.
Sure.
Which would have been great. But then they did that shot, and it was awesome.
And we actually get a callback to that later on, that they're still speaking in Chinese.
Yep.
Where Henley Lee is, he's telling a dirty joke in the alley or whatever, and, it sounds English. But then they cut to a camera view of somebody else walking down the alley. And you hear him speaking in Chinese.
From their viewpoint.
Yeah. So, once again, that was so great.
That was pretty cool.
So I wonder who on the show came up with that idea. Jonathan Tropper is brilliant when it comes to a lot of screenwriting stuff. So it could have come from him, or Justin Lin. He's done a lot of work. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get them on the show and find out.
It was great.
Yep.
Oh, another piece of trivia.
Yeah.
Going back to the Banshee show.
Yes.
The bar that they're in. All the Irish guys are drinking at. It's called the Banshee.
It's called the Banshee.
That's a little throwback.
Yeah.
I think it's not really explicitly shown, but
I think they showed it in the background on one part of the episode. Yeah. But it wasn't made known.
Didn't catch it really easily though.
But if you haven't seen Banshee, I think you just see that and say, oh, okay, Banshee, that's a cool bar name. But if you know Jonathan Tropper, Cinemax, that's a nice
Easter
callback.
Egg.
Yep. So another cool thing I noticed was a lot of the haircuts.
Yep.
We talked about styling earlier, but a lot of the immigrants coming straight off the boat had basically, shaved head, completely bald in the front and the sides, and then a long ponytail braided down the back. And we've seen that exact same haircut before in Jet Li's Fearless, which is a movie that took place in very early 1900s, 1905, 1910. 1910.
Kind of same time period.
Yeah, so 2 decades off. I think that's, pretty accurate. So
that definitely stands out, though.
Yeah.
From the rest.
But we notice, the people that are more Americanized and have been there for a while, the Hopway Tong.
Hot Boys.
Yeah. They got some sweet modern haircuts, kind of poofed up a little bit.
Yep.
So, yeah, you can kind of see the people that are more Americanized in the episode versus just the people that came straight from China.
Yeah. definitely makes them stand apart visually. Just seeing that different groups, have a little style to their own. Well, I'd say overall I'm excited. Can't wait for next episode. Mm-hmm. See, definitely going to be some more fights, I'm sure.
So what was your favorite fight of the night? I think we kind of both agree on this.
Yeah, I definitely think in the brothel, they bring him down there, think he's going to roll over, take him away, and he just unleashes hell on them. And I like the midway point. It was a low camera angle.
Yep.
He wipes them all out for the first time, takes a break, sits on the one dude.
Yeah.
and I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so the camera angles were
that was my
super
fight.
cool. And I think that's got to be Justin Lin, right? I mean, he did all the...
With some funk music playing in the background. That was cool.
We're going to get some of it on the next episode so you guys can hear it. Really cool stuff. So, predictions. Next episode, rest of the season, what are you thinking?
I think he's going to break away at some point. He's got to. I mean, he's too strong-willed to just fall in ranks.
He already said he's not loyal?
Yeah, he's going to be stepping away.
I 100% agree. I think it'll probably happen next episode.
You think that's soon?
Oh, yeah, I think it's going to right away, because then we get more attention.
Yeah, that's true. I think it'll take a little bit longer, but we'll see.
What do you think about for the season between him and his sister?
I think there's going to be a lot of tension there, too.
Yep.
I think he showed up hoping that she was going to be like, oh, my long-lost brother, let's kind of hang out and run away from everybody else. But
no, but she actually kind of has a little bit of power. She's with the leader of the other Tong.
Yeah, she seems pretty happy where she's at.
And she's kind of doing some backdoor deals, trying to sell some drugs and stuff.
I think there's some tension building there, too, now. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I think Toy, she'll be a big part of the season.
Yep.
I don't know. The police really have me baffled. I'm really not sure where we're going to go there. Are they going to be, try to protect the Chinese? Are they going to, side with, the Irish guys?
I think it's
going to be a little bit of both.
I think it's going to be a little bit of both. And whoever pays them, I think is going to be where they go.
Yeah, I think our boy Lee is going to...
Except for Lee. Lee's going to take the moral route.
Yeah, with a sweet accent, too.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited. I think next episode is going to be a lot more character building all around. I'm expecting some more awesome fights, so we'll have to see what's in store.
Okay. Yeah, well, thanks for listening, everybody, if you made it all the way through the episode.
Hopefully, we do this after each, episode this season, kind of just journey throughout the season and see where we go.
Yeah, I mean, television's kind of in the point where everybody's a super fan. Everybody wants to deep dive into all the episodes and, find out all the little details they missed or whatever.
Yeah. So if there's any other Easter eggs you guys might have seen, please let us know because, we caught a couple of them.
Yep.
I'm sure that there's more that we missed.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, if you find them, hit us up at Southport Media.
Yep.
On Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to the podcast, we're also going to have a YouTube channel, so you can come and look at us. We're going to wave to you right now.
Hey.
And you know what? If you guys want to see us drinking something different next week, let us know. We got quite a few bottles, so we'll switch it up every episode, I think.
Exactly.
And, we only had one drink this time. I think...
I have to step that up.
Yeah, we might have to step that up a little bit. So, well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We really appreciate it. And come on back next week, and we'll talk about the next episode, and hopefully everything goes good.
Awesome. Cheers.
Yep, see you next time. Thanks.